breaking down horror movie logic. Horror movies have become a staple of cinema for decades, offering audiences a thrilling blend of fear, suspense, and sometimes outright terror. But beyond the jump scares and eerie soundtracks lies a peculiar logic that governs the actions of characters and the unfolding of events. In this article, we will dissect the often illogical decisions and plot devices that are a hallmark of horror films. Number 1. The Let's Split Up syndrome. One of the most baffling and commonly criticized tropes in horror movies is the decision for characters to split up when danger is imminent. Despite being pursued by a relentless killer or facing a supernatural threat, characters often decide that dividing their forces is the best course of action. This decision defies basic survival instincts and often leads to predictable fatal outcomes. Why it happens? Splitting up allows the plot to explore multiple locations and generate more suspenseful scenarios. It also makes it easier for the antagonist to pick off characters one by one, maintaining the tension and body count necessary for the horror genre. Number 2. Ignoring obvious warnings. Characters in horror films frequently overlook or dismiss clear signs of danger, whether it's an old haunted house with a dark history or a creepy stranger often or cryptic advice. These warnings are often ignored, leading to disastrous consequences. Why it happens? Ignoring warnings is a convenient plot device that propels the story forward. If characters heeded every cautionary sign, many horror movies would be over before they even began. This trope also helps build a sense of inevitability and doom, which is central to the horror experience. Number 3. The unkillable villain. Horror movie antagonists, whether they are masked killers, ghosts, or monsters, often exhibit the uncanny ability to survive fatal injuries. Characters may believe they have vanquished the threat, only for the villain to rise again seemingly unscathed. Why it happens? The unkillable villain maintains the tension and ensures that the threat remains ever present. This trope plays into the audience's fear of the unknown and the indestructible, making the villain more terrifying and the stakes even higher. Number 4. Poor decision making. From running upstairs instead of the out front door to hiding in the most obvious places, horror movie characters are notorious for making poor decisions in the face of danger. These choices often defy logic and common sense, leaving audiences frustrated and shouting at the screen. Why it happens? Poor decision making creates opportunities for suspense and conflict. If characters are always made rational choices, yet many genres' most iconic moments would never occur. These decisions also serve to highlight the character's vulnerability and desperation, enhancing the horror experience. Number 5. The convenient time breakdown. Vehicles and technology often fail at the most inconvenient times in horror movies. Cars won't start, phones lose signals, and flashlights die just when they are needed most. These breakdowns add an extra layer of difficulty for the characters trying to escape or call for help. Why it happens? Convenient breakdowns isolate characters and heighten their sense of helplessness. By removing modern conveniences, filmmakers can create a more primitive and intense survival scenario, forcing characters to rely on their wits and instincts. Number 6. The sacrificial friend. Horror movies frequently feature characters who sacrifice themselves to save others. This noble act often occurs at a critical moment, allowing the remaining characters a chance to escape or defeat the antagonist. Why it happens? The sacrificial friend trope it adds emotional depth and stakes to the story. It also reinforces the theme of selflessness and heroism, providing a moment of catharsis for the audience amidst the horror. Conclusion. While the logic of horror movies often defies reason, these tropes and decisions are essential to the group genre structure and appeal. They create the suspense, fear, and thrilling uncertainty that keep audiences on the edge of their seats. Understanding the logic behind these illogical choices allow us to appreciate the craftsmanship of horror filmmaking and the intricate dance between fear and entertainment. Next time you watch a horror movie, remember that behind every irrational decision and unkillable villain lies a carefully constructed narrative it's designed to evoke the maximum emotional response. Embrace the absurdity and let the horror unfold.